The first concept is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It starts with physiological needs, then goes to safety needs, then goes to love and belonging needs, and self-esteem and self-actualization. So each of these have to be built upon each other like a pyramid in order for it to function. And these are just some of the basic needs that we need to survive, and Maslow proposed these in this order. The second thing I want to bring up is Piaget's 4 stages of development. The first is sensory motor, the second is pre-operational, the third is concrete operational, and the fourth is formal operational. I'm going to be using the children from The Incredibles to describe this as a good example. So Jack is in the sensory motor stage. He's starting to learn his powers. He's starting to learn about the world. Dash is in the concrete operational stage. He has more abstract thought, and Violet is in the formal operational stage. The next thing I want to talk about is emotional IQ. I'm going to describe it in the acronym of ARMS. The first being awareness, regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So awareness is being aware of our own surrounding, of our own emotion. Regulation is controlling that emotion. Motivation is creating a goal and striving to it. Empathy is bouncing off those emotions, reading each other's emotions. And social skill, of course, is having that act to be social. Next thing I want to talk about is the limbic system. The amygdala and the hippocampus are part of that, and they're a part of the fight or flight response. So it depends on when we want to charge into battle or want to run away. But the amygdala can be too powerful, and that leads to emotional hijack. With emotional hijack, we have heightened emotions. We can get overly aggressive, fearful, or depressed, and these just become overwhelming emotions. And as our emotions accelerate, our reasoning and rationale decreases. The next thing I want to talk about are conditioning, and there's 2 types of conditioning. One's classical and the other is operant. In classical conditioning, Pavlov proposed this idea that he can train his dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. And so in this sense, the bell was the conditioned stimulus, and the conditioned response was them to salivate. The next one is operant conditioning, and I'm going to talk about B.F. Skinner in this example, and talking about more so his Skinner box, where he took rats and mice and he had them push a button. And now one button gave them a reward and the other button was a punishment. So these are both positive reinforcement and positive punishment. One was food, the other was electric shock. The next thing we'll talk about is priming. So priming is where we are exposed to a stimulus and then we give that reaction without even thinking about it consciously. So this can be a multitude of things. I'm going to give you an example right here with a word example where I'm just going to fill in a few words on this table, and without many filling in the blanks, you can probably tell which word it is doing the context. Next thing I want to talk about is correlational studies. They're so crucial in research and psychology as a whole. And so here are just a few of those graphs that show the relationships between 2 different variables. They can be either strong or negative, or strong or weak, and negative or positive. But sometimes we have a weird case where there's just no correlation between all of them. And the last thing I want to talk about is prosopagnosia, which is the inability to see faces. So is this a shape or a face? Anyway, thanks for watching.